You guys, how are you?
Hey, what's up? Were you talking before?
No, I was not. No, I was on mute.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
Looks like more downside. You got a lowercase b. Maybe close right below it. So this right here probably be a rejection tomorrow. Now let's see. Yep, time to do it. I think I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's see. We had a lowercase b, then you got a p, which is a short cover rally here. And then we kind of shift in the D profile, and here's the first lowercase b profile. We close right at the low of it, right? Which means that there's a high chance we're going to be continue going down. So that's something to watch tomorrow. I'll probably watch this swing here. Look at the 50% here. As we come up to that, I would definitely be interested in shorting around that area if we get some kind of push up. The only thing, if you guys look at the like a 3-day chart or a weekly chart here, there is a bullish volume anomaly on the weekly chart here. So I don't know if you guys are able to see that, but here, let me zoom in. So as you're going down, you had a lot less volume as you're going down here. And that happened here as well. So if you guys look from here, it happened on this one, and then they picked up here, but then came to kind of like the stopping one, not the best stopping volume, but they got more. But overall, the trend from here, if you guys look at the selling volume, from this bar to this bar, the red bars are much less here. So they're selling not as aggressively here. And now they're not selling as aggressively here. So we'll watch this fibs. We can draw that tomorrow, but here, this is something that you guys should be interested in. If we do get 37.61, we are right now at the 50% of this swing here. We came here, we rejected it. Something's wrong here. Let me make sure my fibs are not picking up some other stuff. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. So now all I want to know is, is there a chance for a bounce? Obviously, we're too low off of this swing to get a bounce. So you'll have to look at, longer time frames. And that's why I did the fib. I did an all-time low, not all-time low. I did the COVID low fib to the all-time high. And you guys see the 50% is, 34.91. We came like 10 points short last time to get a bounce. So that's something we're watching. So now if you take this fib here, and this is, longer swing plays, right? So if you take this, let's say to here, if you do get some kind of retracements, which is pretty far, it's about 4,430. So I wouldn't stress too much about this one here. So it's a far out fib. What we're interested in is to find out, on the daily, like for intraday level, where can we reject? And if you guys look at the volume profiles, where would you guys think it's going to be a good opportunity to short here?
Like 38.30
60.
and also 38.60-ish, right around there.
Yeah. So I mean, so if you guys think about this, if I just turn this off, where's the accumulation? Where's the sideways before we go down?
38.60-ish.
So if you grab this and this is the ideal short for tomorrow. This is what you're looking for to short. And if this doesn't happen, sure, maybe you might have some other ideas open up based on the price action we see tomorrow, and then we can react to it. But ideal short is if we get a bounce from this 3,800 level, which they seem to be accumulating a little bit. And if they hop over 38.21, you can drive this on a retest of this line right here, drive it up to 38.57, in this range that I call, not necessarily the level, but somewhere to this range here, I would drive that. And then I will switch to puts because obviously this here, what do you guys think this was? Look at this. They dumped, they came back here, and then they went higher. This was a fake out. This was a fake out here to get more people to buy in. And then look what they did. They basically came back and revisited this area. They dumped from here. Same thing scenario-wise, right? If you guys think about it, this whole box here, because there's not a lot of volume, and just pay attention here. There's not a lot of volume that was built up here. So you'll most likely grab a bigger box. And look here. We came right to that, and I think we were short. Some of us were short overnight on this play. But this right here was a trap. They were trying to trap people on the long side. I mean, from a D-shaped volume profile, you're breaking a D shape right here to go higher. And that usually, it would change to a letter P here for the most part, if that was true. And then from this right here, we came back, revisited. But do you guys see much, accumulation here at all? If I grab this right here, I mean, there's nothing there. So if we were able to break that 3,800, that 37.88, there was aggressive buyers here. So if you zoom out a little bit, you'll look to see that that level was fairly important before. So if you shorten something like this, let's put it on 3 days, maybe even 1 day, you'll see that level play a role here, right? So played a role here, rejected here, bounced. So now it's important if you're able to slice through it, that'd be great. Below 3,800, you can catch some points, and then you can short under that and drive to 3,500. Okay. But for tomorrow, this is a golden setup right here. If they don't get to this and they show weakness, where else would you short? What's another opportunity to short?
Top of that bear flag.
38, 32.
Say it again.
38, 32.
Yeah, that's a perfect spot. You have it right here. So somewhere around this area, right? You can grab it as much as you want, maybe something like this. This would be the spot. So if you just focus from here to here, here's your level. About 38.30 is where the POC of this cluster is. So now you would have these lines as opportunities for short. If we hop over this level, that means we're over a pretty large sell-off volume shelf. That means we exhausted these sellers. That means that you're most likely going to be testing at least, you're going to come up to here. I would say at least you're going to drive up to here. So that's about 14 points on ES. And I don't know any people that would not take that, right? From momentum trading, I mean, of course, you have a bear flag setting up, but now your risk to reward on the downside is getting a little bit less than it was on the call side. Yeah, sure, we can break this and dump to 37.88, which would be great, right? 20 points. So that's something to watch if you're trading futures tonight. But for tomorrow, this is our level. And then if you turn this on and add the SVP, I mean, so your value area high is sitting right here at 38.50, which is pretty good level. Just copy this guy. I just don't have to mark them. My green is PD value area low, purple is PD value area high, and this right here, we'll just put it as red, and I'll mark that one. So now I know what these mean. And if we get over this PDPOC, I mean, things get interesting. So what is another scenario that you guys would like to see? If we dumped 37.88, what's another scenario that could be played out?
Break below 37.88 and retest it.
Okay. What else?
A bounce.
Okay. How would you play a bounce here?
On the retest of the green line.
Okay. Think about it again. Look at it and see if that's correct. It's my PD value area low. So if you guys look at your PowerPoints, right? If you drop here, you go here, then you're going to do zigzag. And you do this. What is this enabling here? Why does it go
Is that
away?
80% rule?
Yeah, this would be the 80% rule. It means it's accepting back into the prior there area. Here, you don't want to take this long. Why do we not want to take this long on the acceptance here? Anyone?
In case it goes back down.
It's just that you don't have a lot of meat. You only have like 6 points between PD value area low and the POC. So, I mean, if you take this, your risk has to be 3 points to gain 6, right? So that's not really worth it. So it's much better to get something like this.
Oh, I see. Yes.
So this entry here is much better than this one in terms of reward. Because here you get 80% chance. And I would say on the one above, this probably becomes a little bit like 90 to 95. And if you
That
take
makes
this,
sense.
you can put the stop loss right below this, which would be about 7-point stop loss to gain 36, right? So that's why I say it's not bad, but you could manage this something like this, right? It could be even up to here, which would be 2.5 trade, or you could go, of course, you would trim if you got multiple contracts, but here, something like that. If we get a bounce, right, this is the entry. So these are the two probabilities that I would play. Most likely this one versus that one. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, perfect. So any questions on potential rejection where it can reject? Okay, so let's look at a little bit higher time frames here. So we're right below this trend line now. So this here might be a nice rejection as well. If they're able to kind of go here and reject this trend line. Let's see how they would do that. That's a pretty big trend line here. Yeah, on daily, this might be a bounce. So let's see. And then on a major short, you guys see that this is like a big old, distribution being set up here, right? So this is our major distribution. We are starting the imbalance. If we get, for some reason, I don't know what can happen, right? End of the war, or I don't know, they could announce something. This really becomes the level that you're interested. So that's your upside. And then how would you guys find the downside targets? Anyone? Could you not grab something like this?
Run down.
So you have pretty much this, right? I ran up. Now I'm trying to see where these buyers might defend. And look, we're right there where they're trying to defend right now. In that shelf. And then if we break below like 37.50, pretty high chance you go to this 36.80, 3700 level. And this becomes pretty much your green zone. for a bounce. And this is a pretty big boy level here, I would say. So this is where we can expect the market take a little breather. And what you could see here is if we break this, you get a retest. And then depending on how we accumulate the volume here, you would get that POC dependent if it's more consolidation, let's say it's here, and then you could get something like this. Does that make sense? So you can play the bounce here, but you have to know the target, and most likely the target would be somewhere around here. They'd be looking, so about 50 points, something like that. And then you would go short here. Okay. So these are just models and, me anticipating what they plan on doing. So that way I know which scenario they're going kind of for and what's available. And you guys see here, once we break this line, what do you see here?
Skinny belly.
There's a nice little skinny belly. So it's not big, but it's the second furthest one in on this whole run up from July 22nd or 14th, sorry. So it would be nice if we break below this level. Most likely we drop another, what is this? Maybe another 100 points to here. And if we lose this, most likely testing the liquidity here in the 50%. So any questions so far, anyone? I would expect us to go to this level here, maybe overnight. Just gonna remove these lines. Any questions on this? No?
No.
Look at NQ. I'm just gonna hide the APR. I mean, so pretty good scenarios here. I think this trend line here was that was the channel that we had. We never able to get over it, so we rejected this. So now you have a nice little channel here. Just make sure I'm grabbing this. What could you guys see here happening? Anyone? Any scenarios?
I go down to that trend line that you have, like that dotted line.
Okay. So the dotted line is the overall channel. If you guys look at on 3 days, this is your overall down channel that we're in. So yeah, there's a high chance you could go here. So if you guys grab somewhere from here to here, you guys will see, this level here was fairly important. So now this level here becomes a really big demand zone. If they want to defend this, that's great. If not, if we break this level, I would say a little bit of a shit show starts. Then most likely you test the pre-COVID highs, which should be right around here. And then, the power of big boys will drive this all the way, potentially somewhere around here. And then of course the liquidity grabs are going to be pushing to 6,000. And I don't think necessarily we'd be done in that area. But this is the big picture, right? So if you guys look on 65 minutes, even on daily for a second, there was something here, right, that you could use if we come up. So we rejected this initially here, if you guys look. So we rejected this massive shelf here. We went over it with a huge candle. I think this was something about the Feds when they had that huge pump. And now they're not able to get over this one. If they're able to defend this one now and take out this structure here, then, we turn a little bit bullish because we'd be breaking this channel as well. So it'd be really good if we can do that for the market. Big sell-off happened where? Where would you guys pay attention? Remember, this is 3-day chart. So each one of these candles is 3 days. Where's the sideways action? What about here?
11,800.
There you go. So this is your sideways action, which is what? It's the balance of the market, right? We are in balance here. So let me go. So if you guys think about it, we are in balance here and we created an imbalance, right? So same thing here. We are accumulating here. They're distributing, still consolidating, and then they had a markdown. So we are interested in these because the volume accumulation setup is basically based on the volume that's accumulating, and we look for aggressive buying to occur afterwards, and then you come back and revisit. So if you focus on this chart here, they accumulated heavy here. They had a market aggressive buying here, market orders, and then they came back where? Right here, and then they took out that supply and proceeded higher. That happens pretty much on every time frame, and here's one with the the example. So the POC was here, they came back, they reaccumulated, target one here, and then obviously you wouldn't know about this target here unless you use some fibs or previous data, but you get the point. Accumulation, retest, go higher. And then same here. This is pretty current now. This was AVGO, same concept. They accumulated, sold off. Now you were waiting for the re-short, re-entry on the short. So same here. If I grab this to here, and here's the volume. This is where you're looking to short. But this is, this won't happen. For us to go 800 points, I'm not expecting that to happen. If we do, you mark this as a nice opportunity to short. That can happen. Then you go into smaller time frames to see if there's any accumulations that occurred. And I would say there's quite a bit, right? So you had one here, and you see how tiny these. They're not as big, right, as the major ones that we have here. Like you see, the balance is super high here. Balances are tight, and moves are big based on the balance they created before. For instance, if you take a look at this one, the balance was tight and the move was massive. Here, if this is the sign of any accumulation, the longer the accumulation, the what? The more aggressive the move, right? So if you think about that, if that stands true, look at this accumulation we had on the top. I don't think necessarily that this move is completely just done yet, right? It has a chance to bounce here, but on smaller time frames, since we're day trading a lot of this stuff, if you just go grab this, even if you go from here to here, you'll know where the shelves are, right? So your ideal short would be 1134, because that's where a lot of the accumulation happened there. In between each one of these, you guys can find the POC yourself, right? So if you look here, massive one here is a 10931. I think I don't think this is much for them to pull off that. That's about 130 points. I think they could do that. So on 3-hour chart, this is your 3-hour shorting zone. And you can mark them however you want, 3-hour shorting zone. Right. So now if I go on my 65 minutes, which is my favorite for intraday, does that not line up perfectly here? So I'll just remove this. So watch now. I'm just grabbing this. Is that the same one? So this is the level we're watching. Is there a chance we're gonna, if you're super weak, that we might reject here? Yeah, there's a super high chance you can reject here. But if we hop over this, this is what you're eyeing. You're eyeing to see this supply being protected. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So that's something we'll watch on Qs. SPY took a dump today. Just trying to find the SR zone. So we really haven't spent a lot of time below this zone. If you guys look, we came here, bounced, dripped the low, ripped higher, broke the structure. Then from this demand here, we were not able to break this demand. So it tells you that this demand is really weak now. I'm pretty sure if we break below and retest 370, which we would trap a little bit of shorts first, this might not be a bad play here. Let's see what they did here. So just pay attention to this. If they want to trap people that only use SR flips, how would you play it if you're a market maker? Anyone?
Take it to the POC to trap the bulls. I mean, trap the shorts.
Yeah, as long as you break this level here, everybody's gonna be short. Everybody's gonna be buying long dated puts targeting 350s. And what they could do here, because if we come back here, if you just think about market structure, right? You made a lower low here, then you make a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. I would say higher low, equal highs, and then you're making lower lows. If you come here and then you bounce, man, I don't know why it does that. You would basically still be making higher lows here, but you would probably trap a lot of people here, targeting 350. Yeah, you would get a little bounce from here. And you would probably go to maybe 371, 375. I would target probably somewhere around this area, right? For a bounce, maybe even 380s, come back here, 380s, and then dump, right? The market just doesn't go up or down forever. So it has to have these cycles, right? Because it's all about liquidity, and then the market makers, they don't tend to lose a lot of money compared to the retail. So they got to play the game right. Watch this on 65 minutes. Definitely, I would watch this right here. So if you guys think about it, you have multiple accumulations here that are happening. So you have this level. This is on 65 minutes. But if you guys look, we've been in this level. We've been in this range for some time now, right? So if you guys look, this is your top. And I would say this is your bottom now here for so far. So top, bottom. If you're making higher lows, there's a high chance you're going to be going back to this level as well. And if you grab the whole thing here, because we're kind of still in the zone, look at this rejection here that we had. Is that too good? Almost perfect. So this level here becomes fairly important for shorting opportunity, right? And even though you have one earlier here, you can watch these two right here. So we have 378.4. And then you have 381. And this will be the value area low of the area too. So any questions on this? And if you're not comfortable trading, this is where your learning comes in. You get the learning by looking at this, finding sideways actions, and then look for pops or drops from it, and then look for the levels, how they react. I mean, if you look in the video here, here's the video, right? This is what we had for NVIDIA. We had a chart. This was a POC, and look where they rejected. From 190 all the way to 142. I guarantee you, there was half of Twitter that was buying 200 calls right here. Just as they're buying. And on one of the calls that we talked about, I told you that we're going to break out of this box. Did I not mention that last time and hit? I thought they were going to tap perfectly here at 246. they're gonna do that just because this looks like a typical what setup. This looks like a typical bull flag that retail plays, right? So if you're a first time visiting from this guy here, you never really revisited this order here. You came back and look at this. You're creating a weekly kind of pin bar right here. There's a high chance once you lose this level, as I mentioned last time, 237, once you lose this, you're going to 224. So hopefully that makes sense, reason why, right? They're trying to sell the idea, right? You know, consumer discretionary, this is going to be pumping, but you know, when you look at the volumes, they're not agreeing with any of this stuff. So hopefully you guys are starting to pick this up. And this is a pretty good distribution being set up here, because every time they came here, they were really aggressive in selling. You know, they accumulated this at 170s, 180s, I believe, 178. If you accumulated this at 178, would you really reaccumulate at 250? Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see them do that and go higher, but I just don't. I don't think it's gonna happen. Does that make sense? Trying to give you guys opposite examples wherever possible, so you guys can kind of reference them in your charting. Okay, any specific tickers? Anyone looking? Nope.
Can you talk about Apple again, please?
And Tesla.
So okay, so IWM is coming up to a level where we were probably going to get a bounce. So FYI, this will be the zone. So we're very close to it, to a bounce here. Keep that in mind. They're usually the first one to run. So if we get a bounce here, definitely worth watching this tomorrow. Just FYI. Apple. I warned you guys about Apple today during live. I mean, it cracked through that level. It's going to 122. So I mean, so if you guys look here, grab this even to here. Where do we do that? No, it was from this guy right here. So you have this massive shelf here. We're kind of getting into it. I think we did from here to here last time, more or less. I think it might have been that. Anyways, we're below this level. So not how we got the 122, but the 122 is, I believe it was drawn off of this. And then right below that, you have the 115. This is a famous level for Apple. I remember this level because I traded it at these levels. This, and then of course you have the 95 level here. So if you guys look at the COVID, pre-COVID lows, 53. Just because the stock is cheap doesn't mean it's ready to buy. Hopefully you guys can understand that. A lot of people start buying stuff just because it's cheap. It can go cheaper. And if you don't believe me, I always reference this chart. It was $400 and now it's at $12. It can go cheaper. It can go cheaper than $12. So doesn't matter who it is, Apple or not. You know, $80 for Apple is a really good range to buy. And that to happen, it would need to drop quite a bit, right? From this point, you're looking at another 36% drop on Apple. So these are the levels I'd be looking at Apple. I would not buy shares at this one or this one here. Just FYI.
All right, that answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not interested till it gets till about $80. Tesla.
All right, thank you.
Tesla's gonna get a little bounce here, but I mean, there's a lot of volume, but a lot of volume, but no candle. So what does that tell you?
Normally.
Anomaly.
Yeah, it's an anomaly. This is not institutional buyers buying. This is a bunch of fucking retailers buying it off of 100 level. So you let them buy it. I thought we were gonna get a bounce off of this level, which was institutional buyers buying it here. And if institutional buyers did not get a level bounce here, guys, these guys are in for a rude ride up. Look at the shelf difference between where I was buying versus this one here. Yeah, there's not much holding this until it gets to about, I believe, $80 or something like that. Let's see. So there's $52, and I think there's $70 here on Tesla. This one here gets really interesting at 52. I'd buy it at 50. And I told you guys this was gonna happen when it was, I think it was 400. I said this is gonna go down to about 100, and people laughed. I think 52 be fair value. Is that what you're looking for? You're looking
That's
for
nuts.
intraday stuff? Drew,
I'm sorry. Oh no,
intraday or
somebody asked for it on YouTube. They didn't
no?
specify. Oh no, they
Right.
said the next couple of days. So I
Oh,
guess
if that's the case, so obviously this level, what did we do today here? Yeah, we made almost 100% on Tesla here. Well, we did from 2 to 4 or something. So this is where we shorted it today. We need to reclaim this level if you want to go long. But just to kind of show you something here. This is the first time that, we spent some time above the VWAP here. That we're accumulating now above the VWAP here. So it's kind of like a reversal sign, right? Anytime they accumulated here was always below with little peaks above it. If you pay attention to that, peep, 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 and now they're accumulating here and they're creating another balance, right? But now you see, Elon's a little worried. He's holding these sessions of his, right? The stock is good. It's going to be the most expensive or most valuable stock in the world, blah, blah, blah. And that he's not going to be selling. So now, what would you do here?
Wait for
Short the re 115.
If you want to go long, there's two scenarios, long and short. So who wants to cover both?
long would be break 115 and then go come back for a retest and go long there
Mm-hmm.
up to past the skinny belly.
That's correct. What about the other scenario?
I believe Sunflower covered it.
Yep. So
Touch
fairly
115 and
simple. Yeah, I mean, the next scenario is that this is the one I'm really interested in. I hate playing against the trend. And if I go along here, I'm fighting the trend, right? I'm fighting the trend pretty much on every time frame, but the smaller ones, if you look at 2 hours, even 1 hour, in order for this to break the structure, it really needs to pop over this level. So it breaks the structure. So the first structure is at around 125. If they hop over this, you can definitely go along here. I'm not suggesting, whatever you want to do, but I'd rather save my money here and look for a short opportunity here. Because this is where the aggressive sellers initiated here. And then above that, I mean, this can go on forever, guys. It has a lot of good setups for it. Here we go. From here to here, you will see how massive these shelves are. Pop here, imbalance. Accumulate, imbalance. Accumulate, imbalance. And then you see here, they accumulated here, gapped up, created a fake trap or trap here, ran into this POC, which was a massive, massive shelf here. Look at this. Came back right to it. And then they obviously started dumping. It will definitely take some time for Tesla to get to 160. I don't know what kind of numbers they have to deliver to get to this. And I told you guys, the market's getting saturated. If you guys look at the EV market share, Tesla's slowly losing that. Right? You have big players entering the market. This is the same scenario that happened before. It's different companies, different different industries, but it happens everywhere, right? They don't stay at the top forever. And with the crazy CEO as he is, I mean, really smart guy, but just talks too much. He's going to be hurting himself. most investors don't prefer volatile CEO like that. Okay, so hopefully that breaks it down on Tesla. Let's see, we said FedEx. Why is it so choppy? Is the money being pulled out of it? Oh. Oh man. Yeah, it's about to crash. All right, this is not my ideal spot to short. I would never short it here, but you know, people that prefer to get in now, we can definitely short below somewhere here. It's just not my cup of tea, right? I don't short here. Catching rockets, where do you short this setup?
At the top of the, well, yeah, at the top there. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, you know, it's a missed opportunity. I don't really look at FedEx much, but they'll be hurting from
I want to say it's got a full send down right now.
on daily or
I think on the 30-minute. I was looking at it earlier, but I don't.
yeah, I mean, there's a supply right here, right now, where it's sitting.
I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure I saw a full send down on it.
Yeah, I mean, then you guys look here. So once you combine volume profile with like VPA analysis, it becomes very easy. Watch this now. As you're going up, I mean, this has so many issues on the chart that I just can't even look at. Does anyone see any issues in this cluster here? Like right here. And plus the volume, just let's see. This whole area, this has so many technical issues and volume issues that it was screaming, don't buy me. Who can explain?
Massive green candle with like not very much volume, yeah. And then you have,
as you're going up, your selling volume is picking up, guys. I
Yeah.
mean, if you ever see that, no, you should look for a first opportunity. I mean, I outlined it here multiple times. When you're going up, you want the bars to be picking up. You want the volume to be respected because that tells you what? If the volume is picking up and candle's body, the spread is picking up, what does that tell you? Who's buying? Institutions are buying. The big boys are buying. When you see something like this, below average volume and a big candle like this, that tells you that the participants are not institutions. Remember, institutions have a lot of money, so they would fill this volume up rather quickly if that happens. When you see something like this, right, this is not an anomaly, right? Always think about it as effort and result. So you have a massive green candle with, you know, if you look at these candles here, with below average volume. And it's an anomaly, right? And as you're going up here, and I'm on daily, right? As you're going up here, look at this. As you're going up, your red volume is picking up. I mean, it's just, you got to spot these things because this is fairly easy to figure out, right? And I'm pretty sure if you take this right now to here, you can, this is going to 140. So it's going between, it's going somewhere in here. So now watch. How do we know this? Well, fairly easy. These buyers were not, they were not sitting here. The buyers are somewhere 157. So 1272 is your target. So you could probably play February, March puts and be okay on this. You know, you should have gotten them in today at 175, but, or even higher here. Best was here, but that was missed.
looks like we might be going to 3788 on ES.
Did we break the flag? No, not yet.
Shorty, I joined late, but I don't know if you already covered it. Could you check JD.com, or did you already cover that? If you did, I can go back later and look.
I don't ever cover JD. Is this Asian company?
It is. It also has a full send down.
This is about to collapse.
Yeah, I swung puts.
Yeah, this is about to like about to lose half the value that I ever created.
I took January
That's
20th 5250s puts.
So if you think about JD, you know, they came very close to this POC. I mean, remember, I don't care about really like this. This is something I look at. They came back to the zone, and of course, when you're on the weekly, guys, I'm promised you'll 90% of the time you're gonna get a reaction to the market. And this is your reaction to the market right now from the POC. So this right here, and it has a nice channel down. I mean, yeah, February sometimes it could lose half of it. I would probably look to scale out somewhere around here. So that's a $13 drop waiting to happen. And why this level? Does anyone know why I rejected here?
That's like the middle of the channel, basically.
Watch now. There. I mean, I don't ever look at this stock. I swear to God, I don't
Oh
ever
yeah,
look
that's
at
your
my life.
POC.
Guys, this is just simple. I mean, I'm telling you guys, this is the beauty of volume profile and why we do it. I don't think you can put a penny in between that line and where we rejected. Look at that. So, and this is that's why it's choppy. I'm like, man, why is this so choppy?
Well, I'm glad you agree. I called out a short on that today.
Oh, this was a good short.
I didn't catch that,
really,
but yeah.
Yeah, this was right here. I mean, if you guys find shit like this is good setups, right? I mean, and the only way you find these setups is if you go through a bunch of tickers and you learn how to chart. But this right now, it's setting, I mean, look at this. Watch these shelves that they created on the way up. I'm not gonna go here because that's accumulation. Oh, Chinese government right here. Buy my, like, you guys see this chart, or am I the only one that's like, what the fuck is this? It looks like fucking Swiss cheese. That, I mean, I don't know how people trade this for for a living here.
Switch
What?
cheese.
What in the hell is this?
Sorry for the late reaction.
All of these that I'm marking, these are all gaps. I've never in my life seen so many gaps on a chart. Wow. Yeah. If you're unsure, like when to enter short, once you lose this shelf here, I would say this one right here, the game opens up. I mean, the floodgates will pretty much open up here. I will not be shocked if they bounce it here one more time. Yeah, this, I just don't know who's buying this. What did they sell?
Beats me.
Meats?
I said it beats me. I don't know.
Oh, I was about to say, wow. Chart looks like a cheese and they sell meats. Wow, that's pretty
They
nice.
sell cheese. Swiss cheese.
I mean, this is, can't even look at this chart. Yeah, I would short this, Josh. Yeah, I don't know about.
Yeah, I only saw it because of Drew calling it out earlier. So
Yeah,
I
this is
just
prime for.
thank
You
you.
might have a little drawdown on it, but I don't think you'll have more drawdown than this level here. So hopefully, you guys bought some time, like 2 weeks or more.
Yeah, January
Have you
20th.
checked?
Yeah,
Have you
did.
checked meta yet at all?
I don't ever trade better.
So Shorty, they build reliable and scalable platforms, e-commerce, logistics, internet finance, cloud computing, and smart technology. That's what JD does.
Yeah, I would never touch.
Did you also check AV Go after? I see a lot of people trading that recently. I played it once, but I never really.
They're all buying calls. They don't know what's coming yet. I mean, I don't know. I don't trade meta ever, so I don't know the behavior of the stock. But I just don't see anyone buying this. There's not much. I mean, they could get another pump here. Yeah, they could get a pump here to this level. Like, I think they could go, if you just look at this. They could get a pump to about 137, which is pretty far. So, and you see how heavy the distribution was here. I mean, I don't know, was it earnings? Yeah, it was earnings. They dumped it pretty good, and now they filled this gap. And usually when this happens, they dump to the low of the day. So I don't know. If I was to bet my money on it, I would bet that we go back to this POC here. Be about
Okay.
$100. You missed a short, like a good short entry on the swing, but I just wouldn't touch it yet. Maybe until it breaks this. I mean, it really has, till it breaks this trend line here and makes a lower low, perhaps. So somewhere below 112, I would be interested in it. Microsoft is another one that's coming up on something critical here, and you guys can see it. You guys spot it?
There's a gap.
Yeah, there's a nice little gap here sitting on. And if you're able to break this level, call it 233.87, guys, you have a couple of dollars. You have $5 to drop here. And to me, they really never broke this consolidation that they had from before. So to me, this looks like they accumulated here. And if they're able to pump this up, let's say the numbers tomorrow on the jobs data looks pretty good, man, they could pump this. $10 for $8, that's not a big deal for them. They can do that a couple of hours. Pump it up here. I'd be interested in shorting this. The only two things holding the market up, do you guys know what that is?
Is it Microsoft? No. Oh, Microsoft and Apple.
Yeah. They're literally the only two that haven't broken like the key support yet. Look, I mean, they're fucking close. They're right there, literally breathing in like, yeah, I just don't know. You watch this combo. Once we lose this level on the combo of Microsoft and Apple. Okay, I'll do it again. I've done this before and on Amazon, and people, I don't know, Drew, if you remember, people said I was crazy. No way Amazon drops like the COVID lows.
I remember. I remember that 18-month consolidation as well.
Yeah. So we're looking somewhere at 232. So if you take the weighted average of the each, you can figure out where that drops. But you have a massive head and shoulders here. And they tend to be measured, right? And if you look at Amazon, for instance, this is your, where's COVID low? Right here. And where's Amazon?
That's crazy.
Amazon is on the COVID lows, right? So I'll find the chart that I posted for Amazon. I'll look for it. What else you guys got?
Could you check out AVGO? AVGO.
I already have that. There you go. Your short was right here at
Oh,
560.
thank you.
Let's see. So yeah, it's about to dump. 540 breaks. I think it clears, and it has a gap all the way to 532. How about we set an alert on this guy?
Thank you.
Is this a chip maker, or what did they do? No, broadcast.
I don't know. I just noticed that there was people trading it. I know that I don't know. I think Big Bull trades it a lot.
I mean, all sectors are in a dangerous spot. XLI, I mean, industrial just sitting here in a broadening formation looking for potential clearance.
I think
AVG, it was pretty good. I would definitely, I mean, I talked about this, right? So eventually this was the play that I wanted, but we missed it right here.
when you were gone, Shorty, I called out an AV Go play, and it went from 400 to 900, and
Wow.
ever since that, like, people keep talking
What?
about it.
Yeah, that's the only one and only play I was telling you about. Literally that play.
No, but I'm just saying, ever since I called out that play, I keep seeing people talk about AV Go, and I've never seen people talk about it before. Anyway,
Look at you. You started a trend guy.
no, I'm just saying, I never noticed anyone talk about it before that. It's just kind of funny.
Yep, okay, so let's see. I think I have a few more tickers. Crowd. Let's see. I looked at some stuff today on security. It's not ready yet for a bounce. And you can look at this whole thing here and see. Yeah, I mean, they got this super cheap, man. This is like identical chart to Zscaler. So if you're bottom fishing about 93, you can probably buy some swings. This guy here, whoever's sitting here shaking right now, whoever bought it here, I'm pretty sure he sold. But whoever is going to be buying here, if they show any sign of buying, that's not bad to buy some swings out. You know, maybe 110s or whatever, a few weeks out. But you see where they got it. Yeah, they bought it average of 48. Pretty sure they offloaded already all of this. So they'll be looking to rinse and repeat. Think about it. For them, it's money making like cycle, right? Hey, I bought here, I sell here, I buy here, I sell here. So they keep going. They buy low, sell high, right? And while the retail's arguing about nonsense. So this is one of my favorite setups. A falling wedge right into demand like a POC. There's a high chance we're gonna bounce here. So it's a good chart, whoever brought it up. Yeah, I would definitely watch this. And what are you looking for, crowd? Are you looking for shares or I don't know what the I mean, there's a bullish volume anomaly on the daily. There's really no volume. They're really not selling this. When somebody bought a lot here. Yeah, it's not a bad idea too. I like that. Think you'll pay. And then if you look here, just be aware of this level here for yourself. Since you swung it, I would definitely be aware of this level here. This was a nice trap here. I don't know how much time you got, but you have nice little, setups for trimming here. So something like that. Hopefully you got more time than a week. Oh, okay. You're okay. You got time on your hands. Wouldn't be surprised if we see 120 on this. So good idea. Zscaler probably identical chart. Actually looks better than crowd. Why does this one look better? Anyone? Look at the candles on the daily. Anyone?
Looks like it's reversing.
Yeah, this is ready to reverse. I mean, it's the bodies are making higher high, made a higher high. So it has like a little broadening formation here, but this ends up usually running. And this is fairly cheap. I think I might hop into some shares tomorrow on this. Last time, I think, I don't know if Dumpster's on. He knows the numbers better than I do. I think we grabbed this. Man, I might lie. I don't know. I think it was somewhere around here. We sold it at 150s. I don't know what the level was. I didn't pay more than 127. I know that much, or 128, and sold here, so it wouldn't be bad. I might be interested tomorrow in this. I'll be interested once we get over that maybe 110 level, hold it, and then get some shares in here. I had shares of this at 48, and then I sold it. Was really excited about 100 and something dollars from 40, and then it went to $400. Okay. Let's see. What did I miss? BLK. BlackRock. Woohoo. Wow. Are they tied into this FTX stuff?
Probably.
Oh man. Holy crap, dude. What in the world happened here? Holy crap. That's pretty good earnings. Yeah, I mean, if we lose this POC here, there's a pretty good chance you dump. And you see the shelves. I mean, you have a skinny belly all the way to, I would call it here, 677. So $23. I mean, even if you put $6-7 stop loss, you're pretty good here. You know, you have this guy. I would think somewhere around here. You get the next guy. Yeah, this is a weak run up here. This was bullshit. Yeah, I mean, it literally has 650 written all over it. It's a good chart, Blue Sander. Are you in anything right now on this? Yeah, this looks like 650s. Nike. When did they go from 80? Wow. What a run. Must have been ER. Yeah, this is ready for a good short. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Try and see what happened here. Yeah. Typical setup move for retail. Anyone know what it was that they're setting up?
Maybe inverse head and shoulder.
And Versatility, they're setting this baby up. So they're looking to sell you some calls here. I personally would not buy any of this. Any retailers like this, I'm not interested till it loses another probably 60% from here. Well, at least it's not going into my portfolio for shares. I'd be interested closer to that level. But remember, I'm usually wrong, so this is where I'll be excited to buy it. Can call it that. 60 to 52. I'll be a buyer here. This is too much. They're crazy. I'm not gonna. It's going to 104 fairly soon. I mean, it broke cold. It's going to 105. 105 is good. February, March. All right. Anyone else?
Hey, Shorty, can we check you and Hedge?
Oh, wow. I remember this at like 230s. Man, they are just ramping up. This has to be their all-time highs, right? $25 to 500.
I'm in the 480 puts for Jan 20th.
You
Thought
need more
it will
time.
break this trend line.
Don't think. No, you don't have an entry here. There's no, I mean, you might be lucky, right? So the difference between a consistent winner and a lucky one is if you nail this one and you don't write what you did wrong, what are you gonna do next time?
Make the same mistake.
You're gonna take the same trade. But if you guys read, did you read Trading in the Zone book? Was it CK who asked? Was it the big bull? Who asked about that UNH?
Me, big bull.
Okay, so in the book, he talks about, people trading without fear. Okay, so when I know you've had losses, wins, but when you take a trade that's not consistent with the risk reward, this is more of a the way I would call it's random trade in my world. You don't know if this is going to break to the upside or downside. You have no idea, right? The market's random. So if you take a look at it, if this works out for your favor and you don't document what you did wrong, you don't have a reference point. The next time, let's say you're like, man, I took identical trade on UNH and I'm going to triple my size now, and you increase your size and then you short it on hopes that it's going to do the same thing and does the opposite. Most likely, that's where your ego is going to be hurt. You will not have a stop loss here. Most people won't to do the random trades. Most people will be like, man, it's okay. It'll go a little bit down. It'll go to 600. Oh man, it already hit 600 and I'm already down 80%. Man, what's 20% of this position? It's like 10K. I can lose 10K. I already lost 70K. Does that sound familiar to anyone?
Yeah.
Maybe not the amounts, but the concept sounds familiar, right?
Sounds familiar to me.
You start hoping and you start moving your stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, and then eventually it becomes what?
Worthless.
Huge loss.
Yeah, for every 10% you lose, you need 11% to gain it. So things start going statistically against you. So you don't have a setup here. Maybe you see something that I don't, but there's no setup here. This is at all-time highs and you can't predict. What if tomorrow they announce in a bill that they're going to be doing something that improves medical billing and they're going to pump this up all the way to 800? Your puts will be a toast for no reason, right? The entry would be, on a weekly time frame. I'm looking at really big time frames here. You might be right on a small pullback. How much time did you buy?
Jan 20th.
Okay. So if you look here, we're right at the POC. At least let this 520 break. Then you have a chance to go to, to make some money on it. It would go to probably 493 and go higher. But here they have an imbalance on the upside as well. So if you go on 65-minute chart, you can take a look here. So if you got in, what time did you get in?
Today.
Okay, morning or afternoon?
In the morning.
Okay, then you should be up. Because this was a good setup here at this point on 65, right? You accumulated here, we created an imbalance, and this was your entry here.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I was thinking, when it comes to that reject point, I exited some. I mean, I'm not holding all. I'm, swinging like 5 more till the.
Okay, good then. Then I'm not worried. I'm not worried about you managing positions. I know you know how to do it. So, but yeah, this was the entry here. If you guys see it, this was the whenever you see a wide balance like this, right? And then the POC So the trick that I learned way back on volume profile is there anything that you guys distinguish? This is all about math. Where's the POC in this consolidation? See if somebody picks up on it. In relation to the size of the box and width, where is the POC?
It's like the bottom third.
The bottom third. So if you're telling me that there was a lot of volume accumulated at these levels at the bottom third, and then from that is sold off, how can that be bullish? And I'm not asking that it can be, but how can that be bullish? In my world, it can't, because it's telling you a couple of things, right? You have a wide range, and it's not like you're willing to take it higher. You created a balance, and then from that balance, the POC, the most volume was at the bottom. So if people are not willing to take it higher, and they were not, you're not making higher highs here. You had one weird candle here, and then lower highs all around, and you're below 50% of this, right? So if you grab the top to the bottom of this, look for your POC. I mean, what's the rule of D profile? Where's the POC should line up with what fib?
In the middle.
Should be
50%.
50%.
Yep.
542.
Yeah, but you're not there. So that's a really, really good sign that you're going to be dumping. And then if you look to the left, right? So if we go from this box, go here. Same concept applied. Here, this is a spring. I don't include, springs in my consolidation. This is your POC right here. So if you guys look at it, this is your POC. Is it the same concept? They gave you
Sure
the
is.
same exact setup, literally.
That was the reason I took Shorty. I thought it's gonna dump further.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get it all the way up to here if I was to bet my money on it. So you have another $8, $9 on this. Contracts are not cheap and their spread is not the best. I used to trade it and I just got tired of the spread on this. But yeah, hopefully this makes sense to everybody. I mean, these are the things that I notice when I look at charts, when I trade. These are the things rationally that I pay attention to see, hey, is this setup the same as this one? You accumulated here, you had higher highs here, you're entering lower highs, you're not able to take out supply, the POC is below, you're consolidating. It really needs to be in the middle. And if you look at some big stuff, you look at Amazon. Where's Amazon? What the hell did I type? Same concept here, right? So if you guys look, where's the POC and where's the 50? They're lined up. This is a pretty good consolidation. It's telling you the price stayed close to the magnet, so they left you wondering what the hell's going to happen, right? And then, of course, they did what they did. They dumped it from here. They bounced it. They hit the POC, came back. They hit the bottom of the range, and then, of course, the rest is history. But you have to start paying attention to these little things and tricks, that we teach here, so that way you can kind of spot them live.
Shorty, even highs, if you look at the like a larger time frame, doesn't it look more like Roku?
Totally different industries, yes.
No, totally different industry, but the chart look more like Roku.
It does and it doesn't, right? So if you look at this, there's a little bit more ladders here than it is in Roku. So here you have, if you were to measure the degrees of growth, you have this. I don't think my line is that linear, that flat on this one. You see this? Let's see. So this one has pullbacks. This one literally, just exploded. But here I see what you're saying. You're talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. From here onwards now, it has, I mean, it has identical candle here. If this candle here was flipped, it would be formation wise. Wow, good eye, but well, this will be identical here. If you have the balls, yeah, buy some 250 puts on it. I just don't have it. I just can't take it. Yeah, but yeah, you should check to see how much are like 300 puts for June.
Yeah, I mean, I did follow on one of the put. That's what I'm in. They loaded some heavily yesterday, but I waited for today to buy. Yesterday it was high, but today it came down a little bit. So let's see.
Which ones? You said what strike do you have?
They bought the 480s for Jan 20th.
Okay. Yeah, I think on this one too. This one looks very weak. I mean, I just don't know how many people are gonna go eating into Chipotle if they don't have a job. Yeah, this is headed. This is headed to 1200. Literally 1200. So it has another $200 to drop. Gonna get a bounce here though. So maybe the play on this guy is comes back here.
Flag broke on ES.
Downside. Yeah, they'll push it back up. There's a failed auction here. I think they want to resolve this guy here first.
They should resolve it all the way down to 37.88.
Yeah, you gotta break this auction and then go down.
Yeah, they should resolve it all the way down to 37.88 and then open there.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. Hopefully, you guys had a good session, learned something, and ready for tomorrow, which is pretty much the key, right? And if you have a moment, we did post for one of our members that his house, I guess, got flooded and broke down. He posted some picture for us. I'm about to actually go get my wallet and then donate to it. If you guys can, whatever the amount is, I think it'll be good to help him and kind of bring him back on his feet. So if you guys can, please do. If not, no worries. We'll take care of him.
All right, thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shorty.
There goes the bounce.
Thank you.
Here, brother. Oh, there goes
Shorty,
the
have a good night.
Appreciate it.